But you, let's hear about your first job. Tell us.
My first job was slinging smoothies, which became a pattern of my first couple of jobs.
Oh, wow.
My first 3 jobs, I was selling smoothies. So I can make a damn fine smoothie.
That's good. That's good. Do you have a blender?
I don't.
No? Oh.
I asked for one for Christmas, and my family was like, "No, yeah." They got me a hand blender.
Dude, the this is great podcast content. It's like a $30 blender that you can get at Walmart. It's the Oster brand. It's great. Just get that thing.
Same brand I used to use my barber clips on. Anyways, things that matter.
Barber clips and blenders.
Pen name. So this first job, I got it right out of high school. And the funny thing was, at the time, me and 2 other guys that started working there, we all went on a mission trip together right when the store opened. So they built this. I can almost guarantee that anyone would be able to guess what this smoothie store is. It has juice in the name. Go wild. But they had built one in this location, and the owner, the guy that bought it, had bought it as a anniversary gift for his wife because she had one smoothie one time when they went on a trip to California, and this guy was wealthy enough to just buy a juice and open up a juice in Midland, Texas.
I was going to say this is Midland.
This is Midland. So not exactly like a health-minded city.
No.
It's actually a pretty poppin' business now.
But they went to the California.
Which
is, for those that don't know, it is on the left. And they went to the California, and they had one of those California smoothies, and it blew their mind. And they're like, you know what? Let's get one of these franchises. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously it was managed incredibly well.
No.
Okay.
I will give several stories about management.
Please.
But I wasn't there for opening week. So I got all my training and stuff like that, learned how to make smoothies, learned how to put things in a cup and put it in a blade and go.
Yep.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And I learned how to make wheatgrass, which is awful.
Wheatgrass tastes like the name implies. It tastes like grass. It tastes like...
Maybe my particular location was just gnarly. But everywhere that I've ever worked that has wheatgrass, that wheatgrass is almost always filled with gnats.
Ew.
So don't get wheatgrass unless they are keeping it cold. But if you go to places and they have it on display, that thing has gnats.
Oh, that's no good.
I will put money on it.
That's
it's gross.
Disgusting.
So just learn something new every day.
Yeah. We're here to protect you. Wheatgrass. God, somebody told me once what it tasted like to them, and I thought it was a really funny description. They said it tastes like a lawnmower threw up in your mouth.
Yeah, it tastes like mowing the lawn.
Yeah, it does. It's weird.
And it takes forever to make.
I have had many wheatgrass shots in my life, and because I like how I feel after I drink it. But it is not tasty. But yeah, I mean if you do wheatgrass every day, you get and this is probably why I don't do it anymore, but you get this 5% boost of energy, in your just day-to-day life. But again, 5%, is that really, does that risk benefit analysis? You got to run that yourself and then just be okay, 5% more energy. I don't want to taste that every day.
Yeah. And this store, we opened at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
For some reason.
Did you see a lot of business at 5:30?
We did.
Oh.
I worked the dreaded clopen shifts. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I would close, but Tuesday and Thursday I would open. So I was always just already exhausted because we closed at 10, but we left at 11. And then I'd have to be back up there at 4.
Oh.
Which I don't think was legal.
No.
Because you have to have 12 hours between a shift.
It's 10, I think, yeah.
But I was getting 6 either way. But you would show up there, and it's mostly like Midland, Texas. If y'all don't know, it's the armpit of Texas. Mm-hmm. It's Odessa, Friday Night Lights.
Odessa.
Oh, football.
Yeah.
It is the armpit of Texas. It's mainly oil filled guys coming in trying to get something that will like keep them full until they can have an actual lunch. Mm-hmm. Cool. Most of the time, those guys were super cool, super nice.
Sure.
Every now and then, you'd get a weirdo. I worked with mainly girls. There was like 4 guys that were employed, and there was a total of 20 people that were actually like
that worked
workers
at this
there.
location. Okay.
So 4 of them were guys. The rest were girls, and one of those guys was the owner. So like, cool, whatever. But something you find, especially in retail and food service, is that men are gross.
They can be. I will say this: not all men are pigs. Not all men are gross, but some men can be disgusting pigs. Sometimes.
And I remember this was like 3 weeks after we had opened. Things had been going super good. Mm-hmm. At this point, I was comfortable in the positions that they would put me in. Awesome. And then we had, I can't say his real name, but his name, I'm going to call him, is Chad.
Yeah. I mean, like, I already know who he is. Like, yeah, don't know, but I know.
Chad was in his late 60s.
Oh, Chads are not that old. This Chad was a 60-year-old Chad. Yeah. God, just the concept of a 60-year-old Chad.
Way ahead of...
Way ahead of the Chad?
Way ahead and way behind all at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, this is quite the picture you're painting.
But he came in one day, and we had never seen him before. We were just like, oh, hey, welcome to Juice. It's 5:30 in the morning. We just opened. But sure, come in. And he came in, and he sat and stared like, when people come in, they walk right through the door and then just stand there and stare at the menu that way instead of coming up and getting out of the door way. He did that thing. He just stood in the door, stared at the menu, didn't acknowledge us. We were all like, good morning, and not a thing. Cool. Didn't want to talk to you anyway.
Sure.
And he stands there, and like it's quiet. We have like a little bit of like atmosphere music going on, but other than that, it's quiet because it's 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, just big gruff voice. What is an acai? Now, this is a common thing that people do, I guess. The acai berry, spelled A-C-A-I, but the I has one of those little that
sure, yeah.
changes it to acai. Cool.
I believe they call that a umlaut.
Really?
No, they don't. That's only for the U's. But like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, the little I, but it's like angled.
What is an acai? And we're like, oh, it's like a berry. It's kind of similar to a blueberry. Tastes fairly similar. Kind of has that sweet bitter, not bitter, but sweet tart thing going for it.
It is kind of bitter. Yeah. You got to sweeten it a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, well, I don't want that. Can I get the cookies and cream smoothie? Cookies and cream protein smoothie.
Sorry, go ahead.
I want 4 extra scoops of protein. Now, this smoothie already has 2 scoops of protein in it.
Yeah.
With the size that he ordered. He got a large. And like, you can, whenever you add that much protein to a drink, it increases the size of the drink.
It also becomes more gelatinous.
Yes, it also becomes a lot thicker. And you have to balance that out with liquid, so it can really mess with the taste and the texture.
It can really mess with your kidneys too. Yeah. Anyway,
and
sorry.
We're like, are you sure? Here's like the consequences of your actions if you do that. Like, this is what will happen. And he goes, will I still get that extra smoothie? And we're like, yeah, absolutely. We're more than happy to give you that because it's the same ingredients and you paid for it all, but you will get multiple cups and we'll give you a cup holder for it. And he goes, that's fine. Awesome. Rung him up, $10 smoothie. It's a lot of money for a smoothie, man. $10 smoothie that is pretty much nothing but milk, cookies, and protein and ice.
God, which just sounds gross.
Breakfast of champions at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and like it's one of those things. Like I'm also like I'm a nerd about nutrition and health and things, which is probably why I still to this day work at a health food store. But like just the concept of like paying $10 for a smoothie that literally is just going to tax your body for the rest of the day. Because like protein, generally speaking, we don't need nearly as much as we get. And so to just constantly add more protein, it actually comes from this old diet that is proven to not work. Mm-hmm. And like the dude that invented the diet actually ended up dying of the diet that he was recommending. And so like when you look at the science of like diet and lifestyle, it's like higher protein consumption is linked with higher all-cause mortality pretty much across the board. So it's like you don't actually need to eat that much protein. And actually when you do consume that much protein, it's actually pretty terrible for you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but this dude is ordering this $10 essentially a liquid cookie, or it's going to be like cookie dough. Yeah, at that point. And it's also so much protein. So it's like your body's got to work super hard to break that down.
And it's pretty much just like 2% milk, knockoff brand Oreos thrown in. And then like the smoothie, but man, I still remember this. It's been like 6 or 7 years. The smoothie by itself, the size he got, had 12 grams of protein. That's from 2 scoops. He wanted 4 more, so that adds 24 grams.
So we're looking at 36 grams of protein.
Yes.
Which is like, I mean, just shy of what you need for a day. It's half, just under half, or just over half. Yeah, that's a lot. But you actually touched on one of my favorite things, and I'm really glad that you told this story. Because although I started this episode not really having a story outside of me using the ball machine as a cannon, one of my favorite things in the world is when people mispronounce things. Tyler, you know this about me. We've worked together. And like Akai, okay, totally. Yeah, I see the mistake. It's kind of like when people see quinoa for the first time. Like, let's imagine it's 2008 and quinoa is like still kind of this novel new thing.
New
and
kid
people
on
are
the
like,
block.
Exactly, and people are like, quinoa, and it's like there are commercials made with the cheesiness of exactly how hard it is to pronounce quinoa, and it's like totally. But I have a couple of stories mispronunciations that are my favorites. Oh, okay.
This because it only gets worse.
Okay.
So we make the smoothie.
I thought we were at maximum terrible.
No.
Okay.
And like you have to add extra water to the smoothie to get it blend, so it's a smoothie and not a chunky.
Did he just end up getting like a carafe?
More or less.
Oh my god!
Like a full, and these are like Vitamix brand cups, so they're like the big cups.
Yeah.
So we're making them, and he sees us adding extra water, and he goes, "I don't want it watered down. You need to add more milk instead." We're like, "No, sir, we can't do that. That costs money." Mm-hmm. But we're more than happy to add the water. It won't change the flavor at all. It just loosens things up, gets it chopped.
Yeah, just loosens things up.
It gets the smoothie in the mood to be a smoothie.
Oh.
So God. He goes, "I guess that's acceptable." And it's like, "Thanks, Chad. I totally needed your permission." Mm-hmm. Finish the smoothie, and we pour it in, and it fills 3 large cups, which is a lot of smoothie. Mm-hmm. And then, like, there's a little bit left over. We put it in, like, a kid's cup and put it in one of those, like, cardboard drink carrier things and hand it over to him. And he looks down at it and goes, "What the fuck is this?" We're like, this is your smoothie, man. And he goes, "Why is it in multiple cups?" And it's like, "Oh, Chad, we've been through this, buddy."
We had to loosen it up.
The protein expands it. We also had to add extra water and things like that. So, there's just more total matter in there.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, I don't want this much. I wanted one of those." And he points at the smallest cup we have. And we're like, "That's a small, sir. You ordered a large." And he goes, "Yes, but I want it in that. Pour it in that." And I'm like, "So you only want that? What about all this leftover?" And he goes, "Well, I want that. Just put it all in one cup." Sir, I don't know.
We're talking about an impossibility of physics here.
Yes, sir. I don't know if you think I'm God. I appreciate you. You're fueling my God complex as an 18-year-old.
Sure.
But I can't possibly do that." And he goes, "You need to figure it out, or I'm going to call the police."
Okay.
"I'm going to call the police because you're not putting my smoothie in the cup I want." Oh,
God. You can't even put those protein scoops in the small cup.
And my manager at the time, his name was Mike. Great guy. Weird punk dude.
Sure.
He comes over and goes, "Sir, you are more than welcome to call the police. But if you call the police, I'm going to throw this smoothie away and I will not give you a refund, which I don't think is something he should have said, but he said it.
Sure.
And he goes, "Oh, is that so?" And he does like the cowboy thing where he moves his coat back and he has a firearm on his hip.
Oh my God, really?
This is the first time I've had weapons threatened at me. This is not the last.
No, apparently. God.
And we all kind of freeze and we're like, "Well, sir, I will fit as much into that small cup as you would like. How about you go wait outside and we'll just bring it to you whenever we get it figured out so you're not standing here waiting around." He goes, "That's better." And he walks out. We lock the door. We lock the door and don't let him back in.
Well, yeah,
And then we call the police and we're like, "Hey, just so you know, this is happening." And they come and they're like, "Hey, Chad, you can't come back here. You are no longer allowed to be at the juice store anymore."
Yeah. That's, I mean.
This is all at 5:30 in the morning.
This makes me
felt like a fever dream.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a cookies and cream protein.
It's a
dream.
cookies and cream protein.
Yeah,
there's no need to threaten the 18-year-old kids that are
I'm
probably still a little buzzed from last night.
Yeah, and for those listening that know anything about me, know that like when I'm presented with situations like that, I kind of like either play like super dumb or I like make a joke about something or like I try to lighten the mood. I think I'd be dead. I think he would shoot me if that was me because he'd be like, "I need it all in the small cup," and I'd be like, "You got it," and then I'd be like, 48 of those coming up, and then I would like pour them into each individual one of those, and then when he gets upset, exactly, yeah, I'd be dead. I would be super dead, like not just dead, but like turbo dead.
Turbo dead.
What is turbo dead? We don't know.